So everyone is in the scramble and rush for land. It might not be as intensified as in other countries, but I'm sure because of foreign direct investment, sooner or later it will be there. Remember, we live in a global world and Zimbabwe cannot be an island.
Those who are in favor of investments, agriculture, they say that it will bring employment to African countries.
When you take a deeper analysis, it's not the case. The people governing those multinational companies, are people who have high-level skills and not the local communities. Most of the times, the local populations are actually driven into trivial employment activities like they are groundsmen, things that are not really at the epoch of the company. How much of profits and how much of salaries do they earn? That's a major question, and if we are looking at livelihoods, in terms of whose sustainability, because again all profits are repatriated back to the host economies. So I think this employment is just a gimmick.
Okay, another thing, the land reform in Zimbabwe 10-15 years ago was very much criticized, but recent research tell a different story, right?
Yes. I know the work by Ian Schoons in his book, Myths and Realities of Fast-Track Land Reform, has actually also changed people's notions about Zimbabwe because everybody thought it's chaos. It was not. I think when we are analyzing, we need to be balanced in our analysis. And if we look at the work by Sam Moyo, he has done a very great job. He's paneled data since the 80s when we had the new resettlement until recently when we had the fast-track land reform, always shows that the land reform in Zimbabwe has been successful. What we need also to understand is in terms of crop production, right now we have what I would term the tobacco revolution, and it's those A1 small farmers who have got land who are actually reaching, milestones as compared to the white commercial farmers who had been there before. What I'm trying to say is that they were producing, but their hectarage has been surpassed by these smallholder farmers.
So you would say the land reform is successful?
We say that people's livelihoods have really changed because people who could not have access, to physical space, have physical space which they have not paid for. Remember, land has become a transactional resource. It's a market resource. But now people got land which has belonged to them, their ancestors, without paying. I myself have done empirical validation since 2009. Until now, 2015, where I actually stay with the communities. So what I see on the ground is quite different from some of the work that I read that has been written by journalists. When they only come to Harare, they fly in the aeroplane and see a view of whatever they think, because I think we tend to make the mistake that when a land reform happens, if it happens today, so production has to start today. But it's a process. Even if we are to look at the Japanese, if we are to look at Latin America, South Korea, it took a process. So, but that history is more often ignored.